Hello everyone and welcome to the greatest game you will see today, most likely. It is Dardha versus Kirill Alekseenko from the Menorca Open round 6, and it features such a wonderful opening, such a wonderful middle game, and a brief end game that every part of this game is very enjoyable to present. So I'm sure you guys will enjoy it, and I've even set 3 pause the video moments for you guys to solve in increasing order of difficulty. So first, it's going to be a pretty easy one. I'm pretty sure all of you will be able to solve it, including your uncle. Then a bit more difficult one, and then well, if you find the last one, you are definitely grandmaster material. So let's check it out. Dardha versus a formal candidate member, Kirill Alekseenko. Let's see what happened here. Comes as a suggestion from a subscriber named Joe, so thank you, Joe, for the, or maybe it's Yo, but yeah, thank you for this one. Really an awesome game. So pawn to d4 by Daniel. We have knight to f6, pawn to c4, e6. We have knight to f3 and the d5. Okay, the queen's gambit declined is on the board. We have knight to c3 and d captures on c4. Yeah, so the Vienna variation. And now e4 is the most popular, but e3 a very close second. The so-called quiet variation. We have a6, preparing pawn to b5, and of course Daniel stops it. So pawn to a4, we have pawn to b6, and bishop captures on c4. Bishop to b7, and castles kingside. And now, okay, bishop to b4 is the top move here, c5 also very much playable. Queen to e2, and now queen to c7. We have rook to d1, knight b to d7, and now pawn to d5. So this has all been played before, nothing new here, but you have to really know how to play this. We have e captures on d5, knight captures on d5, and now the way to play this is to play bishop captures on d5. It's the only way to play it. But it was not played in this game. To give you an example, what you have to do after bishop captures on d5 is play rook captures on d5, so you give up the exchange, and after captures, attacking black's rook here, black will probably play rook to d8, you will play e4 to solidify here on d5, and after a move is made, then you will play g3, and after, let's say, castles, you will play bishop to f4. And the mighty bishop pair will be compensation enough for the sacrificed exchange, and this has already been played, and it's very strong for white, but also can be played by black. But here, knight captures on d5 was played, and this simply does not work for a very particular reason. Feel free to pause the video and figure out the first solution of 3 that I will present to you while I give you a couple of seconds. So for those of you who were able to do it, congratulations on finding this beautiful idea. And for those of you who just want to enjoy the show, it is pawn to e4. And now you're wondering, okay, that's the first thing I thought of, but why is it so strong? Well, what do you do with the knight? Let's try knight to b4. Why is this wrong? Well, bishop captures on f7 and you can resign. Look at this. King captures, rook captures on d7 check, and that's it. The queen falls. And if queen captures, knight to e5 check with a fork wins the black queen. So obviously we cannot go to b4. We can't go here. We can't go here. We could go to e7. That's definitely a possibility, but again, one that is met with bishop captures on f7 and then just rook captures on d7. Okay, now you're not forced to take with the queen, but even if you don't take queen c4 check, and it's a game over. So you can't go to b4, you can't go to e7. What about knight to f6? Well, it seems like the only real idea, and that is exactly what has been played here. Unfortunately, you cannot play even that. Bishop to d6 is the only move to sort of continue the game, but even that is we're just giving back the piece, and then you hope for the best. But here, knight to f6 was played, and now pawn to e5. And again, what do you play here? If you go back, knight to g8, then again bishop captures on f7 is deadly. King captures, pawn to e6 check, king e8 captures on d7 check, and that's it with queen to e8 to follow. So here, bishop to e7 was played. Kirill says, all right, I have to give back the piece, doesn't matter how I do it, I just want to castle and be done with this opening nonsense. But of course, Daniel does not allow it. Feel free to pause the video for the second time and try to find the only move that wins the game for white while I give you a couple of seconds. This one was a bit more difficult, so hopefully you were able to do it, but here bishop to f4. And it doesn't look like much because oh, it doesn't seem like you have time, and especially if you move the pawn, the bishop will be hanging. So what's the problem with just castling? Well, the problem is that after you capture and queen captures here, there's f captures on e7, and now the rook and the knight are hanging, and black will simply be down too much material. There's no way to do it. If you throw in a bishop captures on f3, first we play e captures on f8 with check, and only after this has been taken, then queen captures on f3. And now if you count the material, white is up a full rook. So obviously you can just castle here. And if you can't just castle here, then you have serious problems. Here, knight to d5 was played, so getting the knight out of harm's way. But now comes rook captures on d5. Bishop captures is also fine, but Daniel was obviously very, very inspired here. And now, if you capture the rook, which of course can be played, then bishop captures, attacks the rook, and after rook to d8, again you fall victim to bishop captures on e7, on f7. It's just that powerful. e6 check, king wherever. Queen, bishop captures queen on c7, and that's it. So this is a really big problem for black. So here castles finally happens, and now pawn to e6. Again, doesn't really look like it should be possible because the bishop can be captured, and that's exactly what was played here. Queen captures on f4, but now rook captures on d7 with an attack on both bishops, and bishop captures on f3. E captures on f7 with check. You can't really capture back because then bishop again captures with check, so you have to move the king. And now queen captures on f3. Queen captures, g captures, and bishop to f6. So you have this endgame now where white is up a pawn, and it's a very, very strong pass pawn on f7. And it seems like, okay, it seems like a game that could very well be played for the next 100 moves. I mean, it's bishops of the opposite color, but believe me, this game will end in the next 4 moves. Yes, that's how strong this pause the video will be. So rook to e1. The idea is, of course, you want to play rook to e8 at some point, especially if the bishop moves, like if you capture the pawn, maybe something like rook to e7 followed by rook to e8. But first pawn to b5, we have captures, and bishop captures on b5. Bishop captures on b2, and now, okay, like I said, you could play rook d to e7, but that would again be something very, very dull with king g7, and you can't really force anything. So here, after bishop captures on b2, bishop to c6 was played, attacking the rook. And now comes the great mistake of this game. Even the engine doesn't see it until you allow it to go up to depth 30 for some reason. Here rook to a1 was played, and now you have a chance for a most brilliant finish. Feel free to pause the video for the 3rd time and win the game for Daniel Dardha while I give you a couple of seconds. So for those of you who were able to do it, congratulations on spotting this one. Like I said, it's not an easy one. Those of you who found it are most likely grandmaster material. So let's see what happens. Rook captures on a1. Of course, everyone saw that. It's the second move that matters. Bishop captures, and now comes rook to d8. A beautiful rook sacrifice that will prevent black from preventing white from queening. So here, rook captures on d8. It's the only move. Otherwise, rook captures just happens, and you're going to be up a rook. So rook captures on d8. This, of course, was not played after rook to d8. It was in this position that Kirill Alekseenko resigned in the game, as there is nothing more to be done here. But if the game had continued, rook captures on d8, then the idea is, of course, bishop to e8. You stop the rook from guarding the f8 square, and also the king cannot approach. So there's nothing that can be done here. You're going to make a move. Of course, a queen will come into the game. And now after king to h7 or something, you will just play, let's say, bishop g6 check, take the rook, and you have a queen for a bishop, of course, completely winning. So brilliant stuff by Daniel Dardha. Of course, this was all preparation up to a certain point. Even this, of course, d5 and all of this was still preparation. Like the first real move where he started thinking was this. Where I asked you to make the first pause the video moment. Here he spent 5 minutes. Then the second real move where he spent some time was this bishop to f4 move where he spent 10 minutes. And okay, later on he started wasting time. But yeah, great preparation, but he had to solve some real problems during the game. He was able to do it, and he took down a very, very strong contender. Like I said, a former candidate, Kirill Alekseenko, and which was very impactful for the final standings, because here you can see that Arjun, Ergesi, Kirill Alekseenko, and Maxim Chigaev all finished with 7.5 points, and this was Kirill's only loss of the tournament. So also Daniel Dardha finished number 8 with 6.5 points. A very, very strong event for him. So yeah, that's the game. I hope you guys enjoyed it. First, I thought I would cover the finals of the Tepe Sigman, but they went into tiebreaks, and the tiebreaks, I mean, from a classical event to 3-minute tiebreaks, I didn't find the games to be that exciting to cover for a video. I'm sure they're much more exciting to watch if you're watching it live. But yeah, I didn't find them exciting enough to cover. And then I saw this game as a suggestion from Joe or Yo, and I was like, wow, this is what my subscribers deserve. So yeah, that's the game. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I would like to thank I would like to wish a very happy birthday to Flavius, and I would like to thank Michael Hildebrand, Johan Hoybay, Lorenzo Tessiore, and Fred Ackerman for your contribution to my channel. Thank you a lot. I really appreciate it. As usual, you can check 2 of my previous videos here. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you soon. Continuing to check up on your wonderful suggestions, such as this one, and whatever else happens in the chess world. So thank you all. I will see you soon, and have an excellent rest of your day.